So your kid had a growth spurt, and now he's all gangly and tall, and he outgrew his bike. Maybe he had a Trek mountain lion like this one. And he's too tall for it, but you're too cheap or too broke or too busy to go buy him a new bike. So what do? You jack up the stem to accommodate his new height. Just like this one here. And you know what? That's the worst thing you can do. See this stem right here? See this line on the stem? That is the maximum height of the stem. What that means is that this line has to be below this bolt right here. This line has to be inserted into the fork. This is the wedge. See that little piece? That's the wedge that holds the stem into the fork. The wedge is halfway hanging out of the fork. This wedge should be like all the way down here somewhere. This is the frame. The fork is inside the frame on some bearings. So this stem is 1.5 inches taller than it should be, and that's dangerous. Kid could be riding down the street and this thing could literally pull out of the fork, and when that happens, hopefully your kid's not riding very fast. So, when your kid starts growing out of his bike, don't ever jack the stem up this high. If you really want to, maybe you could go get a stem that's designed to be this high, like a real tall extension stem, or you could get some taller handlebars, or you could just buy the poor kid a new bike, or a used bike. Trade bikes with somebody, get a secondhand bike off of Craigslist from a friend, but don't put your kid in danger by raising the stem on his bike to a ridiculously dangerous height. Plus, it looks really goofy. It looks like one of these tall bikes, like a circus bike. Your kid's some kind of circus freak. So what is this thing? It's a Trek mountain lion. I'll put the stem pad back on if I can do Velcro with one hand. Okay, I can't. 30. I don't know what the 30 stands for. Maybe Trek's 30 years old or something and they're celebrating the anniversary by building this little kid's bike. This bike has a stem pad that's gonna blow off in the wind. These pads are great. I wish they said Zap Pad or California Light on them, but they don't, but still, the graphics are awesome. The Trek graphic is cool too. It's bright red and yellow on this sort of electric blue frame. The graphic follows to the fork, the 30, whatever it is, 30th anniversary, $30 to buy a new stem, whatever. The rim is really crusty, like this was sitting in a basement and a washing machine overflowed or something. Cranks are a little rusty, chain guard's missing, brakes are all greasy, seat is dusty. Let's see if we can make a smiley face here. Sort of. Pads are dusty, but the brake still works, and it has a coaster brake. It has 20-inch wheels. It's designed for a little kid. This is a bike shop bike. It's not a cheap Walmart bike. It's not a fantastic bike, but what we need to do with this thing is lower the stem to a safer height and pass this on, or sell it to the parents of, pass this on to a kid who can ride it and who is appropriate size for it. I mean, what would that be, like a 5-6-year-old kid? Some little goofy brat. What kind of bike did I have when I was that age? I had a Ross 3-speed. I don't know, what's cooler, a Ross Banana Seat 3-speed or a Trek Mountain Lion? I guess it's just a matter of perspective. Like, we liked those bikes back then, but this thing's pretty cool too. So your local 5-6-year-old kid can hop on this bike and enjoy it once the stem is lowered to a safe height. So when your kid grows up, don't be a cheap ass, don't risk his life and limb by jacking up the stem on his bike. Just get him a new bike already.